Sanbonani Dumelang Mulweni. Welcome back to Sia's Couch. Today we will be busting all the myths about how we get things wrong financially. And here to help us, we've got Chloe Kietzi, a representative from Metropolitan. Sometimes we get things wrong. And when we get things wrong, we need to fix them. In Afrikaans, it's called verbeterings, corrections. And that's what we're going to do now. Ntate Chloe will help us with those verbeterings. Ntate Chloe, tell us, what are some of the common saving struggles that South Africans find themselves in?
Thank you. I think the first struggles is that I don't earn enough.
Okay.
That's the obvious one. I don't have enough. I've got too many mouths to feed.
Okay.
I'm the breadwinner. I'm the only one in the family that is working. I've got too many debts. I think those are the common things that you'd find that makes us as South Africans not to save.
Okay.
So we fall into that. I'm not earning enough. I've got too many debts. I've got too many people that are sharing my salary. And I think the old adage has always been, always look after the life that generates the income. What does that mean? Before you think about your debts, you think about other people. Pay yourself first. What does that mean? Put something aside for the very same soul that generates the income.
That feels selfish. I think a lot of people would say that feels selfish. I can't, with this little income that I have, stretch it out to the extent that I have some left for myself.
But with the same vein, you want to stretch it out for other people, not yourself. So that selfishness says, you wake up every day in the morning, you come back late. When are you putting something aside just to pay yourself? That's the issue. Pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first. When was the last time you paid yourself? Speaking about how we put others first before ourselves, talk to us about where we go wrong in our attempts to save. What is it that we're doing wrong? Because I feel like there are things that we're doing wrong. Are we investing in the wrong things? Are we not reading enough in terms of finding out what are legitimate investments, or what are we doing wrong?
I think the way we go wrong, the first, we do not have a financial plan. South Africa's got a lot of information to start with, and I think we've got financial institutions for a reason. And most of the financial institutions, including the insurance companies, have got financial advisors. And these people are there, their sole purpose is to provide a service to us South Africans. And I think the one of the things that we tend to ignore is that, one, majority of us, we don't have a financial advisor. Two, we don't even have a financial plan or a financial goal. And I think if you don't have a plan, and that plan is now followed by specific goals that you want to achieve, you're probably just going to be wonder in terms of what you do with your money. So I think the key is we must all have financial goals and then be able to say, these are the things that I want to achieve. But second to that, I think we must make sure that we must try and have a financial advisor, because that person is competent in areas of financial instruments, financial education and advice, and they'll be able to guide you in terms of what are the things that you should be doing so that you avoid being in the dark.
Do you think, though, that South Africans know that these people are readily available for them? Are they free? Are they, do they have to pay for them? Because the last thing a person would want to do is pay for somebody to teach them how to use their money.
Well, I think South African companies in the main, they have got a social responsibility to the South African communities. And part of that social responsibility is to create financial awareness so that when individuals make financial decisions, they are at the least in the know. And that information is readily available and it's free. And I know our company does what we call the financial blueprint, where we go to institutions, we go to places of work to really ask for time wherein we can create financial awareness and educate people around the issues of savings, around issues of managing your debt, and around issues of creating wealth. And that information, I think, like I said earlier, we do not have it within our schooling system. But I think corporate South Africa, particularly within the financial services industry, majority of the institutions do offer this information for free without actually luring you to buy a product from them.
Obligation free.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do some myth busting. Tell us, please, what myths are there out there about savings? So we can off the bat say, I don't earn enough, or what else do people say that they think is the reason why they don't save?
I think one, I'm overcommitted financially. Two, I've got many people that I must take care of. Three, it could be issues of saying I'm paying school fees, I'm paying the bond, I'm paying the car, therefore I don't have enough to save. And I think the other important could just be lack of information to say, do you really know why it is important for you to save? And I think we ought to try and demystify the myth to say you can always start saving irrespective of where you are in your life. You can start saving irrespective of how much you are earning. So time is always on your side. It just requires the willingness and the discipline for you to start saving. The fact that you don't earn enough is not reason enough. The fact that you are over indebted, you can start scaling down, paying off some of the debts that you have, and start saving from as little as you can so that you'll be able to get used to with a little bit of discipline.
So let's recap. Let's recap, ne?
Yeah.
So you're never too old to start saving.
Absolutely.
You never earn too little
Absolutely.
to start saving. You're not in the wrong income group.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just need to have a plan.
Just need to have a plan and the discipline.
And the
To
discipline.
follow that plan.
Please explain to us, what are some of the financial traps that we find ourselves in? I mentioned earlier, investing in the wrong places. I don't want to mention names. We all know.
Well, I think
We all know people who inbox other people on social media and say certain things.
I think one of the financial traps, we probably might have touched it, going to buy grocery without a grocery list. One of the things is really spending money on the things that you don't need. One of the things, it sounds very loud and simple, the amount of time money we spend on airtime. Actually, one of the serious things that we're beginning to pick up in the market is for people taking early retirement, terminating their services to cash up their pension fund, only to invest with the people that they don't even know. And we've had many stories where people start asking that all what you have is the cell phone number of that person. You don't know their offices, it's the cell phone and the email. You take your hard-earned money for 25 years or 30 years because somebody promised you that they will double it in a year or 2 years. And the reality and the myth is that you can't double that money within a year. Any investment and savings, you are on it for a long haul. So if somebody comes and say, bring your money in 6 months, we'll double it, just a scam. But we know our own friends, relatives, family members have cashed their monies, invested into somebody they don't know. The next those people vanish into thin air. There's been many stories on television that we've heard about where people say, I don't know their offices, their cell phone number is not working. That's why you've got the reputable companies that are registered with the financial sector charter, that you'll be able to say, these are people are legitimate, they are registered, their books are audited, that you've got the offices, you can talk to them, you can see the people.
I think you're touching on a very important point. We see many professionals, whether it's teachers or nurses or even police officers, who do work for long periods of time and are unable to meet their financial obligations in their lifetime of working. And then as soon as they retire, the money is then expected to patch up all these things that they didn't finish paying off their bond or whatever the situation was, whereas that money could have helped them, with retirement. So how does that work in terms of preparing even for retirement? Should we at this age, in your early 30s, be putting money away? I mean, I'm nowhere near retirement, so I'm not retiring anytime soon. But should we be preparing for retirement and saying, okay, here's my retirement annuity and those kind of things?
I mean, I think when people are young, you always think you're not going to get old.
Yes.
The fact of the matter is, you are going to get old. Some people think they're going to die. The fact of the matter, you will die. So what does that mean? You ought to be thinking and planning for those things. That one, it is actually the best to start putting money aside for your retirement when you start working, because that would give you enough to continue to maintain your lifestyle post-retirement. Because I think Stats SA has shown that only 6% of the South African working population will retire and retire comfortably. So what about 94%? It means 94% is among those people that thought, I'm too early to start putting money aside. And then, because the reality is when you retire, you're not going to be able to get the full pay as well you're working. So if your lifestyle, if you don't have enough retirement income, it means you must downscale or downgrade your lifestyle to meet the income that you'll be getting post-retirement. But if you have put money aside early on when you start working, it means when you retire, you will and you should be able to continue to maintain your current lifestyle as you're working. So retirement and savings, it's important to start early, because by the time you retire, the pot that you have built will be sufficient to maintain you. What if you live for the next 20 years after retirement? Just those things will happen. I mean, think of Queen Elizabeth. She was 96, you're crying out loud.
So to wrap it up, can you please explain then to our viewers what is a retirement annuity and why do we need to have it? Is it part of the whole saving thing, or is it something different?
Thank you very much. The retirement annuity is a form of savings which gives you tax benefit. It's a form of savings that guarantees you income when you retire. It's basically what it is. And it also, when you retire, in most cases, is that out of your total retirement amount that you'll be receiving, the 1/3 of that amount is tax-free. So you can cash it, and then you can take the balance and reinvest it, and then earn an income on a monthly basis, called an annuity. And it helps you to really, to guarantee you an income post-retirement. It's the simplest way you could say it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think just to backtrack and just close today's episode off, when we talk about savings and trying to get out of debt and all of that, is it possible for people to say, I've been working for company X for the last 10 years, I'd like a portion of my money at Metropolitan. Metropolitan must please give us my money. Give me my money, it's my money, I was saving it. Give it to me, then I can pay off my debts and carry on with work. Is that possible? I know a lot of people would say they would like to have access to that money.
The retirement annuity has got rules that governs the whole retirement framework. I think if the money is for retirement planning, normally the rules is that you can only access that money at the age of 55. It's sort of locked in. You'll probably know that as we speak now, there's a new policy that will come into effect next year in March, wherein particularly in the public sector, the government employees, and I'm not sure if it's going to be extended to every working South African, we call it the two-pot retirement, wherein the 1/3 that would normally be locked, that we normally get in the form of cash or tax-free, the people will be accessing it from March next year, even if you're not 55. So that's the beauty, well, that's the beauty of what is coming up in terms of some reforms around retirement annuity.
Oh wow, that is very eye-opening. So thank you so much for your time, sir. We really appreciate it. And thank you to you for watching. Until next time, save those randelas.